It could have easily, hit me and could have hit him.
A couple gets a scary surprise while watching TV over the weekend. Shots were fired inside their home. You'll hear from them tonight at 6.
And we're paying tribute to the late Dr. King. Highlights from the ceremonies honoring him today.
This is News 3 at 6.
And thank you for joining us. More snow is on the way with another 7 inches possible in southern Wisconsin.
A winter storm watch has been issued for our area. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with what we can expect. Gary?
Well, Charlotte, we have a winter storm watch for Dane County and areas to the north and east, but farther out west, the National Weather Service in La Crosse has already issued a winter storm warning for parts of southwestern Wisconsin. Now, we're looking at occasional snow to develop tomorrow, probably by afternoon into tomorrow evening, and then starting to taper to flurries tomorrow night. Total snowfall amounts will be from 3 to 7 inches. Looks like the heaviest snow will be in a band just to the north and west of Madison. Areas south of Madison could see some freezing rain mixed in, so the snow amounts will be a little bit lower there, but you'll have to contend with some freezing rain. Then we also have alert days in the forecast for Friday and Saturday for some of the coldest air we've seen so far. Temperatures down to 10 below zero by early on Friday morning, but wind chills could be as cold as 35 below zero, and wind chills on Saturday morning down to 25 below zero with low temperatures below zero. Wind chills not getting above zero during the day. A few flurries possibility this evening. We'll see some flurries or freezing drizzle overnight. There's that 4 to 7 inch snow band from tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night over southern Wisconsin. Winter storm warnings already in effect for southwestern Wisconsin. Winter weather advisories and winter storm watches for the rest of our viewing area. Last night we got down to 14 below zero in Madison. Some areas hit 20 below zero or colder. High temperatures were in the mid-teens, and while current temperatures are in the mid-teens, wind chills right now are dropping because of the strong easterly and southeasterly winds. So wind chills right now are right around zero, and in the case of Madison, just a little bit below zero. By tomorrow morning, temperatures will actually rise into the middle teens. We'll see snow develop by late morning or early afternoon with a high of 30, and again, there could be some freezing rain south of Madison. I'll have more details and weather in just a few minutes.
All right, Gary, thank you. Madison police are trying to figure out who fired shots into a home on the east side late last night.
The couple inside had to take cover. Rose Schmidt spoke with them and tells us about their terrifying experience. Rose?
Yes, well, Madison police say they've searched the east side neighborhood where the shots were fired, but so far they do not have any suspects. In the meantime, the man and the woman who live at the house say the situation could have been much worse for them.
It's very terrifying.
An unimaginable experience.
We didn't know what was going on.
As Heather Dietzman and her husband Kendrick were sitting in their living room watching TV just before midnight on Sunday.
We didn't even really hear anything at first. He just felt that their glass hit his hand.
The glass shattered.
Is somebody trying to break in our back door? I mean, what is somebody, trying to do?
As 2 bullets came flying through the window.
He was sitting in a chair in our living room, and it literally went right above his head.
They crawled to the basement as a total of 6 shots were fired from a car on Clare Street outside their house. 1 bullet came in the front of the house and went all the way through the back.
It came through there, came out there, ricocheted off the ceiling, and hit the door.
Luckily, no shots hit Heather or Kendrick, but they know how easily that might not have been the case.
It is scary, because I'm pregnant and, it could have killed both of us.
As police search for suspects and answers.
I mean, we've been racking our brains all night and all day. We've not slept.
Heather still has many questions.
Who could have done this? Why this could have been done? But we can't come up with anything. There's just nothing to come up with.
Heather and Kendrick say their landlord is now considering evicting them because she believes they are to blame for the shots being fired, but they say that's not the case and they're victims. Anyone with information is asked to call the Madison Police Department or Crime Stoppers.
Rose, thank you.
The Sauk County Sheriff's Office is investigating a deadly crash involving a school bus. This happened on County Highway BD in the town of Delton this morning. The sheriff says the bus was northbound on the highway when an SUV tried exiting the Whitetail Crossing parking lot and was hit by the bus. The driver of the SUV was pronounced dead at the scene. No children were on that bus at the time of the crash. The bus driver was not hurt. And we are still waiting to see how a driver in Columbia County is doing after her vehicle went into the Baraboo River in Columbia County. The woman was driving on Cascade Mountain Road near Fox Glen Road this morning when she failed to navigate a curve and went into the river. She was transported to a Portage hospital. Families say they're trying to figure out what is causing a lockdown at Columbia Correctional Institution in Portage. Our Jamie Perez shares one woman's story plus the response from the DOC on this lockdown.
We're now heading into the 8th day of the Columbia Correctional Institution's lockdown. People like Tanisha LaFleur say they haven't been able to get in contact with their loved ones who are housed there.
They said the institution was on lockdown. So then I called back and to ask about the visits, and they said visits are on restrictions until further notice.
Tanisha's brother and husband are both housed here. She said she visits her husband at least 3 times a week and gets calls from him multiple times a day.
So without those calls, I automatically know something is wrong.
Tanisha showed me this letter, which she got from her husband on Friday.
The letter also says that they're not allowing them to take showers.
While they wouldn't comment on the situation, the Department of Corrections sent this statement saying CCI was placed in lockdown status to ensure a thorough search of the institution could be conducted. Due to the ongoing process at CCI, we are not commenting on the reason for the lockdown as it could compromise the integrity and safety of the search or any potentially related investigations. Inmates have received all meals in their cells, including at least 1 hot meal per day. Showers for inmates will continue on a routine basis for the duration of the search. Inmate visitation is suspended, and the institution will remain on lockdown until a thorough search has been completed.
I've been visiting my husband in prison for the last 10 years, and there hasn't been a lockdown to this effect. And I've heard of several instances where there has been drugs or weapons or violence and rape and all of those type of things, and there has never been a lockdown for 8 days.
Until the lockdown ends and we can get some answers, Tanisha and others like her are left on standby. In Portage, Jamie Perez, WISC News 3.
Now, the DOC also tells us lockdowns like this are usually to get rid of any contraband that may have been brought in, but they didn't comment if that was the reason for this lockdown. Anyone with any questions can email the Department of Corrections at docmedia@wisconsin.gov.
People all over southern Wisconsin are pausing to remember the late Dr. King. This is a look at one taking place right now in Madison. Cheryl Brown Henderson is going to be the keynote speaker for the 34th annual Madison-Dane County King Holiday Observance. A lawsuit was filed on her behalf by her father that became the landmark decision Brown versus Board of Education. The UW-Madison community was joined by a special guest at Union South to celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes, the second African-American to be elected to statewide office, delivered the keynote address. He spoke about the need to make progress in areas including racial disparities in education and incarceration. As area events celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. and his accomplishments, today community leaders say we still have a long way to go.
Our Madeline O'Neill joins us with more on how they're tackling disparities that still exist 50 years after Dr. King's time. Maddie?
Well, Wisconsin is ranked as the most segregated state in the country, according to a recent Wallet Hub report. That's in terms of the disparities between white and black residents in areas like wealth, employment, and education. That is a call for action for people like Gail Ford, who attended the 39th Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. tribute and ceremony you can see here at the Capitol today. Ford is an alumni member of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority, an organization that focuses on social action. She says while it's great to see the Capitol full for today's MLK tribute, knowing such disparities exist means there's plenty of work ahead.
Especially around issues of education, voter suppression, economic empowerment, and income inequality. The housing epidemic in Madison is really big, and so it's great to see all of these faces out, and we hope that when it comes down to actually doing the work to make the change in people's lives, that we get the same kind of commitment and passion.
Representative Sheila Stubbs, the first African-American elected to the Wisconsin legislature, wants to continue Dr. King's legacy here in the state by addressing systemic racism with policy change. One of those changes she'd like to see is in the criminal justice system. Stubbs wants to broaden restorative justice in Wisconsin, which focuses on rehabilitating offenders.
All right, Maddie O'Neill reporting. Maddie, thank you.
You're welcome.
The Baraboo Police Department has a warning tonight after several Facebook posts concerning women being followed.
We'll hear from one of those women. That's next on News 3 at 6. Baraboo police urge the community to be aware of their surroundings after multiple women took to Facebook to tell their stories of being followed while shopping.
Police want people to understand what human trafficking is and where it usually happens. Amanda Quintana has the story.
Every time I turned to go a different way, he would kind of walk past me, or, he just was kind of constantly there.
A Baraboo woman who says she was followed in Walmart Sunday morning is now scared to show her face out of fear that someone could come after her or her kids.
It was scary.
Still, she wants other women, especially moms, to be aware.
When I talked to the people at Walmart and reported it there, she said they had had multiple complaints of people being followed in the store this weekend.
She's the first to report this type of incident to police, but not the first to share her experience on social media. A Facebook post claiming two well-dressed men in their 30s or 40s were following another woman around Walmart last week got so much attention, Baraboo police put out their own message.
We know those things are happening, and it's our job as the police to investigate them, but it's everybody's job as a society to realize that these bad things happen and to make sure that people are paying attention and doing things to reduce their vulnerability.
Chief Mark Schaff says he's glad people are being aware of their surroundings, but police need to know about it. And he also wants people to know human trafficking rarely happens in public like this, instead staying mostly online now.
So many businesses have cameras, both in their buildings and in their parking lots, and the bad guys don't want to be filmed. So they're not going to go there to look when they can fish online very anonymously.
He says cases like the kidnapping of Jamie Kloss have created a real fear in parents.
As tragic and as scary as the entire thing in Barron County is, it's really an anomaly in a lot of ways. To have no real connection and have that abduction is very, very odd.
For moms, that fear will always be real.
You just never know. I don't know. People nowadays, it is terrifying to have kids right now and to worry about them constantly.
Amanda Quintana, WISC News 3.
As for human trafficking, Chief Schaff says it's not something the department deals with every day, but he'd be a fool to say it wasn't happening in the community.
Still ahead at 6, more snow is possible tomorrow into Wednesday.
Gary's going over what your drive home from work will look like tomorrow. That is next in the First Alert forecast. We now know that the extreme cold caused the power outage at Dane County Regional Airport. MG&E says the cold triggered an additional energy consumption at the airport, causing that outage. All flights are back to normal. Around 15 were pushed back because of this outage. The backup generator failed to kick in when the power went out around 5:15 this morning. Around 1,500 people were impacted when the airport closed down. All passengers, even those already through screening, had to be brought back down to the main floor for security purposes.
Yeah, the cold weather is going to be here for a while. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joining us with more and detailing the snow that's coming, Gary.
Well, so far this winter has been pretty mild until we got some snow on the ground. You saw what happened with the storm from Friday night into Saturday morning and how cold it was this weekend. Well, we have more alert days in the forecast for additional snowfall, 3 to 7 inches by Wednesday morning beginning tomorrow afternoon. And there could be some freezing rain south of Madison for a time. Then we also have alert days in the forecast for Friday and Saturday. This is for bitterly cold air in the wake of the storm. By Friday morning, low temperatures could be down to around 10 below zero. Saturday, we're looking for a low of about 6 below zero, but look at the wind chills in the morning. Down to 35 below zero by early Friday morning and 25 below zero by Saturday morning. But during the daytime, high temperatures will stay in the single digits and wind chills will remain below zero all day long. So for the snow and the freezing rain that's coming in tomorrow, already winter storm warnings in effect west of Wisconsin Dells to Lone Rock to Platteville line. To the east, we have a winter storm watch for Dane County and areas to the north and east, and a winter weather advisory for southeastern Wisconsin, as well as the counties to the south of Dane County for lesser amounts of snow and some freezing rain. Where areas where the precipitation stays mainly in the form of snow, and that'll be probably from Madison on toward the north and west, give or take a county one way or another, depending on the exact temperature setup. When we get the snow tomorrow afternoon, we'll be looking at about a 4 to 7 inch swatch there. To the south, about 2 to 5 inches, a little lesser amounts because of the freezing rain there, and then a little lighter amounts, say, north of the Dells. Now, on Doppler track tonight, there might be a couple of flurries out there. Most of the flurries and freezing drizzle will start later on tonight. The heavier precipitation probably won't start until late morning or tomorrow afternoon. It's not even really on the radar map yet because the storm is still forming out to the west. And taking a look at some of the computer models, our day-to-day forecast model, the RPM model, showing about a 3 to 4 inch snowfall through much of southern Wisconsin, a pretty wide band there. The European computer model showing a little heavier snow, perhaps as much as 6 inches in Madison, maybe 7 inches up toward Green Bay. That's kind of what we're thinking. The GFS computer model is showing a lot more snow. It's not showing much in the way of freezing rain. That's why the snowfall amounts would be higher. We'll have to see if that plays out, but right now we're not thinking that much in terms of snowfall. Here's the live view from the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison. No flurries out there right now. Our low temperature last night dropped to 14 below zero. We're at 14 above right now. Winds are out of the south-southeast at 14 miles per hour. That gives us a wind chill right now of 1 degree below zero. So our forecast includes that winter storm warning for our western viewers, winter storm watch for Dane County and areas to the north and east, and winter weather advisories to our south and also to our north and west from tomorrow into early Wednesday morning. Low temperature will be around 12, probably by late evening, and then temperatures will start rising through the teens. Overnight, there could be some flurries or a little patchy freezing drizzle. Tomorrow's high temperature of 30, snow developing by afternoon, could be mixed with some freezing rain south of Madison. On future track, things pretty quiet overnight, maybe a few flurries, freezing drizzle, but by tomorrow afternoon, the snow starts in earnest, continues into tomorrow night. Again, some freezing rain south of Madison, and then that tapers down to flurries. By Wednesday, we're back to a little bit of sunshine. Temperatures, though, hanging around 20 for much of the day, and those snowfall amounts a little higher to the north and west of Madison, a little less to the south and east. 7 to 10 day forecast. Bitter cold arrives by Friday into Saturday with alert days there and low temperatures well below zero. Some snow late Sunday into Monday brings some accumulation, followed by more bitter cold as we head into the early part of next week.
The Bucks play one of the worst teams in the NBA at home this afternoon. How do you think that turned out? We'll have a report from Melissa Kim at Fiserv Forum in sports. It was a pretty simple formula for the Milwaukee Bucks in an afternoon game against the Dallas Mavericks at Fiserv Forum. The Bucks are good, first in the East. The Mavericks are not, 13th out of 15 teams in the West. The Mavs, though, hung in there. You know, former Badger Devin Harrison, former Madison Memorial Wesley Matthews are on the Dallas roster. Matthews going with the white headband, hits a three-pointer. Third quarter, Mavs 62, Bucks 57. But the Bucks just had too much down the stretch. Malcolm Brogdon continues his streak of great play. Giannis helped out on this one. Brogdon had 19 points, 5 steals, and Giannis was just Giannis again today. 31 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists. He's averaging 26 points and 12 rebounds a game. Final score, Bucks 116, Mavericks 106. The Bucks have won 5 straight and 12 of their last 14. For more on today's game, here's Melissa Kim in Milwaukee.
Well, it's definitely a tale of two halves in this game, with the Bucks not playing their best ball in the first half, but definitely picking things up and playing a little more inspired in the second half on this Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And head coach Mike Budenholzer definitely aware of his team's lack of defense in the first half.
Give our guys a lot of credit for the third quarter there. I think that's, changed the game, holding them to 25 and us getting 35. And then we kind of hung on there late, but overall, a really good second half.
We played unbelievable. We played resilient. We never stopped coming at them. They did a great job, making shots, but, I thought we, kept, our foot on the gas.
And part of that inspiration was Sterling Brown. He hit 3 3-pointers and scored a total of 11 points off the bench.
I'm super comfortable. I got the utmost confidence in myself, and my teammates do as well. So they look for me, and I just try to run the floor, get to my spot, and knock it down.
I think the way he shot the ball, you feel like when he's in the corner, he's got an open corner three, he's going to make them. His poise when he's shooting, I think's been impressive. And I think he's in a good rhythm. He's in a good place.
Now, the Bucks may have the best record in the NBA, but according to Sterling Brown, they haven't really done anything yet. And a few familiar faces on the other side in this game. Former Memorial standout Wesley Matthews contributing 15 points for the Mavericks, while Devin Harris, the former Big Ten Player of the Year and Wisconsin Badger, scoring 9. Our Kevin Lewis will have more on those two local guys coming up a little bit later this week. At Fiserv Forum, Melissa Kim, News 3 Sports.
Super Bowl 53 is 2 weeks from yesterday. The New England Patriots are in the Super Bowl for the 4th time in 5 years. The Rams have won only one Super Bowl. That was 2000 when they were the St. Louis Rams. 2 former Badgers will be in the Super Bowl. Running back James White, of course, scored the winning touchdown when the Patriots had that big comeback to beat Atlanta in overtime in Super Bowl 51 in Houston. The other former Badger in this year's game is Rams right tackle Rob Havenstein. Super Bowl 53, Sunday, February 3rd, right here on Channel 3. Kickoff from Atlanta is at 5:30 p.m. Madison time. The Patriots are early 2-point favorites over the Rams. The Packers have 2 first-round draft picks, and with the Saints losing in the NFC Championship game, the Packers now know they'll have their own 12th overall pick and the Saints' 30th overall pick. And recent history tells us you can get some pretty good players in those spots. 2 years ago, the Texans drafted quarterback Deshaun Watson with the 12th pick, and that same year, the Steelers got T.J. Watt with the 30th pick. Now, that number 12 can be really good. I think the Packers could use a receiver like Odell Beckham, like the Giants got in the 2016 draft. Well, the NFL draft is in Nashville last week in April. We've had some great finishes in our Prep Mania Game of the Week the last few weeks. Probably another one Thursday when Madison East visits Madison Memorial in Big 8 boys basketball. Thursday night, 7:15, channel3000.com. Did you see what Jerry Kelly did at the Mitsubishi Electric Championship in Hawaii? On a par 5, he went for it in 2 over that big rock wall. I don't think he likes it, but it hit the lava. It hit the lava again, hit the cart path, hit the cart path again. And look at that, it rolled right out of the green about 20 feet from the hole. So he's got this 20-footer for an unlikely birdie. Right, excuse me, that's an eagle. That's an eagle if he makes it. Well, sure enough, it went in. Kelly finished 3rd behind Tom Lehman in the first PGA Tour Champions event of this season. That's how you do it.
Yeah. Just the way he played it.
Yeah. We do it, it goes...
And those people didn't even notice what was going on around them.
Yeah, they were captivated by the beautiful scenery and the beautiful weather out there, which we won't be experiencing.
Yeah, they don't have snow on the ground. We've got some snow on the way. Probably about 4 to 7 inches north and west of Dane County, especially tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night, and then cold weather after that.
Thanks for joining us at 6.
We'll see you back here at 10.
Download the new Channel 3000 app and get alerted on your mobile device the minute news breaks. Wherever you go, be the first to know with Channel 3000.